Crisis Communications, Module 2, Crisis Communication Theory. Welcome to Module 2. In this chapter, we move from defining what a crisis is to understanding how organizations respond once a crisis occurs. This module introduces crisis communication theory as a way to explain response choices and outcomes, not as a set of rules to memorize. Theory is a tool, not a rulebook. Not a script, not a checklist, not one size fits all. Crisis communication theories are tools, not formulas. Real crises are complex, and no single strategy works in every situation. Theory helps leaders and communicators think through options and understand trade-offs rather than search for a perfect response. Why organizations choose certain responses. Legal concerns, reputation protection, leadership pressure, incomplete information. Organizations rarely choose crisis responses in calm conditions. Fear of legal consequences, pressure to protect reputation, and limited information all shape how leaders communicate. Understanding these pressures helps explain why responses sometimes fall short. Common crisis response strategies. Denial, excuse, justification, apology, corrective action. Chapter 2 introduces several common strategies organizations use during crises. These strategies appear repeatedly across different cases and industries. None are automatically right or wrong. Their effectiveness depends on context and credibility. Denial. Claim no crisis exists. Shift blame. Attack the accuser. Denial strategies reject responsibility or question whether a crisis exists at all. Denial may work only when evidence clearly supports the organization. When used despite clear facts, denial often worsens the crisis and damages trust. Excuse versus justification. Excuse, minimize responsibility. Justification, minimize damage. Excuses attempt to reduce responsibility by blaming outside factors. Justifications acknowledge the action, but try to reduce how harmful it appears. Audiences tend to react negatively when these strategies feel defensive or dismissive. Apology and corrective action. Accept responsibility. Express regret. Commit to change. Apology-based strategies involve acknowledging responsibility and expressing regret. Corrective action strengthens an apology by showing how the organization will prevent the crisis from happening again. These strategies can rebuild trust when they are sincere and supported by action. Context matters. Level of responsibility, severity of harm, evidence available, public expectations. No response strategy works in every crisis. Leaders must consider how responsible the organization is perceived to be, how severe the harm is, and what publics expect. Choosing the wrong strategy can escalate the situation. Theory helps us analyze. Understand response choices. Identify communication risks. Learn from outcomes. In this course, theory is used to analyze communication decisions, not to judge them. Understanding why organizations chose certain strategies helps us identify risks and learn from outcomes rather than oversimplify complex situations. Why this chapter matters. Builds analytical skills, prepares you for real cases, supports better decision-making. Chapter 2 gives you a framework for understanding crisis responses. As we move into case studies and simulations, this chapter provides the language and structure needed to analyze what worked, what failed, and why.